Hello everybody, this is Mateo, and you remember how about 10 parts ago I said something along the lines of how, how after 2 years I would have stopped making mistakes like accidentally closing Audacity after recording before I saved the file? Well, apparently I still haven't learned from that. Yep, yet again, only 10 parts later, mind you, I managed to make that same exact mistake again, so here I am re-recording this. Yep. I am the greatest at this. So that aside, though, we are now training up a Drowsy because, why not? It evolves somewhat soonish. Of course, I missed the Hypnosis. The enemy can always hit it, but I never can. Seriously, just seems like the Pokemon games are against you when it comes to percentages. It's just like Fire Emblem. Ah, well. Speaking of Fire Emblem, though, there was that, Fire Emblem cross, Shin Megami Tensei, or Tensai, however you pronounce it, which is pretty interesting. I mean, I like the Persona series, which I'm pretty sure falls under Shin Megami Tensei, and I like Fire Emblem as well. I've been playing quite a few of them, and I'm in the middle of Fire Emblem 7, because that's the one that Gnome Shark is Let's Playing, and he's the one that really got me back into trying the games again, because, well, I sucked at the games, and didn't really know how to play, so I put it down relatively quickly. But then, because of him, I've started playing them all again. And I also have the Sacred Stones and Path of Radiance as well to play once I finish that one. So, yeah, that's just a side thing that I've been up to, kind of. Also, a couple other things that were announced, I guess. This is going to be some kind of news thing, because I don't have anything else to talk about over these battles. But there was the new Yoshi's Island game, which looks a lot like Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's by the same people and everything. And I'm not too crazy about them using the same exact art style, just because it reminds me of too much of Kirby's Epic Yarn. I just hope that they keep the egg throwing mechanics the same as the original Yoshi's Island games. So hopefully that will be a thing at least. Otherwise, it's just gonna seem like a copy in a way. Especially for Yoshi's first game in several years. They're gonna make it a Kirby's Epic Yarn clone. I think in the preview video, or the trailer, or whatever you'd call it, they showed a crocheted Yoshi, which is what I want to call it, and I think that would have been pretty cool. It's different, it still has the yarn idea, but it's different. It was more 3D, kind of looked like an upped-up version of Yoshi's story, which I would have been cool with. But no, apparently not. Instead, we get Epic Yarn Clone. But a game where you play as Crocheted Yoshi would have been awesome. And different, at least more so. And then lastly, there was the Wind Waker HD, which I would be excited about if I didn't already own the game on GameCube. So, I don't know, I might pick it up eventually if I ever get a Wii U, mind you. But those are quite a few things that want me to get the Wii U again. Although I'm not 100% excited for them, they're still interesting games and are making me consider a Wii U more. Unfortunately, I do not have the money for one, but whatever. Honestly, I'd first probably get an NES and SNES because those would be cheaper. And then I'll get a Wii U later on or something, I don't really know. But that's way in the future. Maybe someday. Anyways, this area, in case you haven't noticed, is every single evolution aside from Glaceon and Leafeon, because those didn't exist yet. So yeah, that's that. And we just bought we bought her. We beat the last one, so there you go. Go ahead and go down, talk to this guy. You will get a very awesome HM, which is Surf. Surf is really awesome because in future games, it's in double battles. It can hit both opponents, although in even later games, like I think Gen 4 and 5, it's added so that you hit your ally as well. But in Gen 3, it just hits both of your opponents, which makes it fantastic. It's still pretty good in Gen 4 and 5, although that is kind of a hindering thing. They balanced it a little bit. As well as it has a really high power for an HM move. I think it's like 80 or 90-ish. Somewhere around there. So that's really good, and it's a water type move, which has a whole bunch of super effectiveness on types. I think it's like 4 or 5. Let's see here. Rock, ground, fire, I think there's at least one more, but I can't really put my finger on it. Oh well, there's at least those 3, and it's really not resisted by too much. So I mean, it's just a really good move overall, and since it's an HM and you can use it multiple times, just go ahead and teach it to all of your water Pokemon. That way they'll have a really good water-type move right from the get-go. So yeah, that's that. Now then, this girl, if you're going for 100% or the 251 Pokedex, you are going to want to fight her especially because she is the one that gives us another evolutionary stone once we get her phone number. And of course, Bayleaf is paralyzed because, yeah, let's just hope I get lucky with it and am not unable to move. And so far so good, we take out this Flaffy, which Flaffy's an alright Pokemon. I don't like how much it's used by everybody, mainly because it's the very first Electric-type Pokemon that you can get. Although, meh, I don't know. I don't think Ampharos is that great. Maybe it's because everybody uses it. I like more Pokemon that a lot of people don't use. Puts on hipster glasses. Yep. Okay. Well, there we go. That's Psyduck. And Drowsy at level 13. That's cool. Anyways, last Dana. Yes, I can battle. I just battled. Go ahead and talk to her. And for a second, I thought that this was the wrong character. But it's actually not. Boys give her items, and so she'll give them to us instead. Oh, yes, that is the best of person. Okay, that's great. Oh, does that make you bad? I don't know. I think that's pretty good, because I want Thunderstones. Okay, this guy is an interesting trainer. Just gonna throw that out there. He only has one Pokemon, which is a Mr. Mime, which is barely ever used. In the main games, and in the... just in, like, tournaments and whatever. I've only seen my friend use one, in which he used it to set up Light Screen and Reflect, and then also use Swagger on his own Pokemon to give it +2 attack and stuff like that. But in this game, it's really interesting because it has Substitute, which you cut out a certain amount of your HP, and you'll set up a Substitute, which will take damage for you, and I'm pretty sure it's more damage than what you would actually put out. But even if you do get hit the first turn and lose it, it still acts like a Protect that you can use for every single turn. You're just slowly losing HP, kind of. So that's kind of bad, but it's still a pretty interesting move. It's used quite a bit in competitive battling, although it's especially interesting that there is one trainer in the actual main game that uses it. I'm pretty sure Substitute was actually introduced in Gen 1. I think there's that guy in Fuchsia City that can tutor it to one of your Pokemon. I know he's there in Gen 3. But I think it's Gen 1 move, and, well, the reason why I'm not sure is because it's never used. Yeah, well. Okay, lastly, this guy, yeah. This girl who has a Corsola, another interesting Pokemon, a Water Rock type, which means it will die to my leaves. But Corsola is just a neat-looking Pokemon. It's kind of really slow if I remember correctly, but it has some pretty good offensive typing. Not so much for this generation because water is considered special while rock is physical. But in the future games when you can get a special or a physical water type move like Waterfall on it, that would work out just fine. And why did you buy me a doll, Mom? I'm 10 years old. I don't play with dolls anymore. Okay, oh wait, looks like we have another wild Pokemon battle, and by another I mean the first one, with a Magnemite. In this route, in this game, Magnemite will run away from you occasionally for whatever reason. So you're going to want to be careful. I'm going to send out Ariados because he has the Nightshade, which will do 28 damage no matter what I do, which is great. That should bring Magnemite down quite a bit, I hope. Magnemite really doesn't have a lot. Yeah, wow. It's only 28 damage, and yet it took out like a 5/6 of his health bar or something like that. So he probably only has about 35 HP, which is not a lot in the slightest. Although I must admit, Magneton is really cool looking. His evolved form, and Magnezone as well. Magneton is probably one of my favorite first-gen Pokemon when I suddenly think about it. And Magnezone is one of my favorite 4th generation Pokemon as well. So I guess that's a little fun fact. I'm trying to think of any other first-generation Pokemon that I really like. Oh, well, there's Dodrio. Dodrio's pretty neat. I really like Dodrio. I can get behind him. Especially since there was that one Pokemon anime episode, The Great Pokemon Race. I think it was like 50-something, maybe 40-something? Nah, probably like 50-something. Oh, well, The Great Pokemon Race. It was one of my favorite episodes when I was little, just because it was different from the Pokemon battles. Instead, they were all racing, and there was just a ton of Pokemon. You know, the more Pokemon, the better. But yeah, and then there was that one guy, Damien, he rode a Dodrio in the race, and he was a big cheater, but still. And also Rapidash was a pretty cool Pokemon, although not that great in game. I really hope, I saw somebody else come up with this, it wasn't my idea, but I don't know who it was, but somebody mentioned that they were hoping for a fire-flying Pegasus Pokemon as an evolution for Rapidash. And that would be really awesome. Like, I would really like to see a fire-flying Pegasus-type Pokemon. Especially if it evolved from Rapidash. That would just be awesome. And probably even use it. I think I'm gonna pick Chespin, just because my friends are going to pick Froakie and Fennekin mostly. So I'm probably gonna go the Chespin route, just so we can get all three of them. Although Chespin probably isn't my favorite one. I don't know, I honestly think that all the starters this generation, or this upcoming generation, Gen 6, are pretty neat. If Chespin is Grass Dark type, and maybe if he looks like a ninja or something, I don't know. That would be really awesome. So in that case, I would definitely like Chespin the most. But honestly, I mean, just all of the starters this generation are pretty cool in my opinion. And so, it's really going to take just, I don't know, it's gonna probably take the third evolutions to really make me decide. Okay. Oh man, we're actually having Spearow fight for once. Wow, that's different. He is super effective against these guys, and as long as they keep on missing/wasting their turns, that'd be great! Spearow! Coming out on top last second, alright. That is a well-earned level up and Fury attack that you'll never use. 7 more levels till you evolve. And Hypno, or Drowsy has like 20 or something, I really don't remember. Funny how I used him in my first Pokemon Crystal Let's Play, and yet I can't remember when he evolved. He's just one of those Pokemon that I almost never use, just because his stats are mediocre, and I think that there are better Psychic-type Pokemon around. Ah well. Instead, here we have a Tauros, which is a pretty neat Pokemon. It's normal type, and I really like Tauros. He's pretty neat. I think I already just said that, but you know, whatever. I used him in my last playthrough of Pokemon Fire Red, which was the one before my 100% playthrough that I've mentioned here a couple times, and he was pretty good. I got him kind of late because, of course, you have to get him in the Safari Zone, and that was really annoying as well, but he turned out alright. Although I probably used the other Pokemon more, he was still prevalent. Although he gets really good in Gen 4 or 5 or something, just because he gains access to moves like close combat and whatnot. I think. I don't know. Buffafro is really awesome as well. On a bit of a tangent to the other bull Pokemon, like many other people, I thought that he was going to be evolving from Tauros, but apparently that's not a thing. Ah well, whatever. Tauros is still pretty awesome. Okay, there we go, Tauros. And I think we have 1 or 2 other Pokemon to catch here. Yep, here we have a Miltank, which is kind of drawn to be the female Tauros by people, because you know how female bovines, I guess, are the cows, while the males are more like a bull type of thing? Well, Miltank is always female, while Tauros is almost male, so people have drawn that comparison, as well as they're both normal types. And I think their base stat total might be the same, or maybe slightly different. So I'm hoping that, well, not really hoping, but I think it would be kind of neat. Excuse me. It would be kind of neat if they had like a baby cow that could be 50% male, 50% female, and if it were male, it would evolve into Tauros, if it were female, it would evolve into Miltank. That'd just be kind of cool, because, you know, why not? I just hope there aren't too many baby Pokemon in Gen 6. And with that note, I will see you all next time. Yes. Oh, Bill, come on, I know. At least I know who you are this time, and it's not weird. Okay, I'll go do that. See you all next time.